Hi, it's Peggy from the Pearl Forest. Welcome back to my channel. Look what I just found after the other video. Thought we could take a peek at some of the things I made. Here's somebody going over a high jump, which I thought would be good in a sports journal. Here's just some people in a photo booth. These were some old pictures. So some old picture ones we'll just set aside. But I made a ton of these circle ones, which I can sort them out if there's particular ones that I want, like that are plant or dark or something. Here's one where I've cut out an image, went for some color, different color. This almost looks like hair or something. Here's some of the hearts. I have a ton of these medallion ones, which, like I said, we can use them. Some are just very plain or neutral. This one was a little flat on one side, but that's okay. I think I might pull some of the neutral ones. This one had something decorative here, and then you could add something interesting up there, or a word, or maybe you have a word or whatever, so you kept that part. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. Some of them are just interesting textures. We won't look at all of them, but look at all these that I've made. Here's some more. They were blurry pictures of like quilts or art or something. I think they make really nice neutral colored hearts. Here's some textures of different things. I think they look nice in those. You can see I've made a lot of them. These, I think, actually went this way. It was like a sunset, but I thought they were nice that way. Some of them just have some interesting textured print. Okay, here's my bunny farm that I was talking about. Tons of bunnies. These are all bunnies. Now some of them are upside down, but some of them you can see. Some of them have quite unique coloring. And I'll just make a whole baggie full of bunnies. Here's like a little baby in a heart. Here's a whole bunch more of the medallions, and you can see this is someone's shoulder and their hair, but it just kind of makes an interesting texture on it. Here's some kind of faded in the background, but flowers. Had several of those. The lighting was just not very good, so it wasn't a good picture. Well, this one, oh no, it's not white. Those are some more flowers. But I thought they would make good background things. This is the top of someone's head, but you know, you can add other things to that if you wanted to use it. I did do the circle medallion probably the most, because I just thought I would get the most use out of it. Seeing if there's any more bunnies lurking in here. There might be. See here, this one is mostly red, but it has some other colors off to the side. Some of them have little scenes like grass and trees, and that's like a little wheelbarrow, I think. That would be interesting in some. I do have bunnies all through here. You can see I made a lot, so that's why I was really frustrated at missing them. So I'm going to post this video the same day right after the other one I just did, so that you can see these at the same time. Hopefully it gives you ideas. You could do them out of magazines or something, but they don't cut as well if you just do one at a time. It's a too thin of a paper, but if you went ahead and put them on a thin cardstock, then you could punch them out probably. This is a a leaf from that leaf edge thing. Trying to see if I can get these in here. Here's part of a house. A lot of them that just have greenery. Let's see, I don't know. I guess if a bunny gets lost somewhere in here, that's okay. A lot of them have greenery, which I think would be nice in them. Here's part of a wedding outfit and a flower. You can see how these need their own bag because I have a lot of these. But I'm hoping I can finish getting through. There's just some browns. Through all these and then just have what I'm keeping in a few baggies. There's another bunny. You see a bunny leg or tail peeking out here. It's a foot. Anyway, you can see the variety. This one's kind of interesting. I think that's, yeah, it goes that way. It's like a lamp, but you can turn it any which way you want when you're putting it in there. There was a couple pictures that had that lamp. Here's some nice draping fabric, lots of greenery. So we have all those. Some more bunnies. I had a lot of brown bunnies and then some black ones, a few white ones, a few mixed color. There's another bunny. Sometimes these had kind of objects in them. I'm not sure, some characters. This is nice, I think, the mixture of black and white. And if you can tell what's in it and you don't want to tell what's in it, then you just add some feature over the top. Here's like some fence. Here's some windows and doors. That would be nice in a building or architecture one, or just in general. Here's some fabric, and here's somebody's high-heeled leg. Sometimes there are little bits of people. Here's a person here, but I look at them more as the lines and the colors and the texture. And if I just added some things in here in such a way that you couldn't tell exactly what it was, maybe, you know, across there or whatever, it would draw away from that. Anyway, I still have a ton of these. I also have some leaves. These, I believe, still are all bunnies. I did do some edges too. Let's see. These are kind of interesting textured ones. This is interesting texture. I have a lot of green. Here's a purple one, and I do have some purple ephemera that I'm going to be making, so I might just leave that one out. I didn't have a lot of colored ones like that. These are similar, but I can put something over it. There's like part of a house. Like I said, I can put like a purple flower on some of these. Here's some trees and sky, but it can also look like, you know, something different. That's a different colored one. This has some balloon. Oops, this is mostly just blue sky. More white and gray sky. I have some that have branches sticking up. Trying to just turn them all the same direction. See, it's just a nice blue one. These should keep me going for a while. There's some tree. like a little bit of scenery. Lots of sky here. Green. This has like some gray. There's another bunny with black and white bunny. Whoops. This is part of a car and a road and a planter strip and a tree, but I kind of just liked all the mixture of them. You can see these pictures have been around for a while. That's from '99. This, sometimes you can't tell what it is. I think this is a parking lot and something there. I hope you can't hear my upstairs noise. Okay, so there's still a lot more of those. Let's push off here for a minute. These are some extra pictures I was gonna save. Okay, so here's another one of those where I've cut, look at it on the back here. I've cut the flowers here, and I was gonna cut it apart, and then I've cut bunnies out of this area and down here, and bunnies down there. So I'll trim that off. This one is white. On this side, I was gonna go back and punch this end and then cut them apart. This blue I thought would make a really nice edge. This one also I thought I would make the nice punched edges. Like I said, it kind of quit working. Here's a bunch of bunnies, which we'll add those to it. Here's one I did with the flowers on both sides that I've left together. And here's one where I did this edge and I've cut fall leaves out of here, and I can cut that off. Same thing on this one. I did the flowers through the sunset, and I'll trim it off, and I might punch the back side. This one I did punch, I think, the hearts, and I did this edge, and I'm going to trim that off. Whoops. And this one, trim the edge off. That one's done. This is a punch I have that cuts out these flowers, and you need to keep the background for them, so I need to find a way to cut or tear around those. Here's some other hearts that I did with some trees, different textures or sceneries, like there's some mountains. I have some that I'm just keeping as they are. This one I cut out a bunch of leaves. I might do some rabbits through here and cut that side off. This is an old family picture that was in there. Here's a little purple scrap that was somewhere. Here's that leaf designed punch, what it looks like. This is just one little piece here. This is the one I got rid of because it was not punching very good, and like there's a little bite out of that one there, but mostly it's okay. But I did do several of those before it just quit working. So I have those. This one chopped more stuff, so I don't know whether I'll just use the ends. These seem to be all similar colored. Here's another one I did the two sides, and this one I did the two sides. So we can keep them that big, or we can take them apart. Here's a couple hearts. That's really nice with the orange and brownish color, and this is really pretty with the sunset in the tree. Here's another flower one that I did on both sides. It needs to be trimmed up on the end. This one I was going to punch out the flower. This one I did bunnies around the edge. This one I was going to save the keys. We do have a lot more bunnies rolling around in here, and we have some more leaves and some more edges there. I'll just show you what I would do with the bunnies, and then I'll let you go because it's been long enough. What I did previously is there were thin enough spaces here that you can tear the photo around the edge, and it kind of makes an interesting shape if you just wanted to leave it to use for something, and I might try that. But I also now can get in there and make more bunnies if I want, but you can see I don't necessarily need more bunnies. So anyway, that's some of the things that I've done with these pictures. This one, I don't know why there's only one part of it, but maybe I'll just turn this into a journal card with these other purple pieces, because there's a little purple there. We do have these purple ones that could go in the purple journal too. So there's some purple collection. This key one I thought would be fun to cut this out and keep that as a little thing to put on a journal card or something, or a little card itself. So thank you for joining me for this part 2 when I actually found my pieces. This is Peggy with the Pearl Forest, and I hope that you have a fun, creative day full of love, and that you will find some interesting things to do with pictures or old photos in your life. Take care. It's Peggy from the Pearl Forest. Bye.